No one notices the moment you become easy to reach. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens quietly, slowly, almost politely. At first, people thank you. They appreciate your time. They respect your effort. But then something shifts. Your presence becomes expected. Your effort becomes normal. And your time stops being yours. You reply fast. You show up early. You say yes before thinking twice. And people start to believe something dangerous, that you will always be there. Not because they tested you, but because you trained them. And the strangest part, you don't even realize it's happening. Because it feels like kindness. It feels like being a good person. But sometimes, what feels like kindness is actually the beginning of your disappearance. His name was Elias. He wasn't the strongest man in town, not the richest, not the smartest either. But if something went wrong, people called Elias. If a roof leaked during the night, Elias came. If a cart broke on the road, Elias fixed it. If someone needed help carrying something heavy, Elias was already there. People trusted him, and at first he loved that feeling. There was something warm about being needed, something comforting about knowing that people relied on you. Elias will handle it, they would say. And he always did. He didn't ask questions. He didn't hesitate. He simply nodded and started working. Because in his mind, being useful meant being valuable. And as long as he was valuable, he believed he would never be forgotten. Days turned into months. Months turned into years. And Elias kept saying yes. Morning requests, late night problems, unexpected interruptions. He accepted them all. Sometimes he canceled his own plans. Sometimes he skipped rest. Sometimes he ignored his own exhaustion. But he never complained, because every thank you felt like proof that he mattered. Yet something subtle began to change. People stopped asking, "Are you free?" They stopped saying, "Only if you have time." Instead, they said things like, "Elias will come. Elias will fix it." Not a question, a statement. And without realizing it, Elias was no longer someone who helped people. He had become someone people depended on, without thinking twice. The changes were small, almost invisible. A neighbor knocked on his door before sunrise, not to a friend interrupted his meal, not apologizing. Come we, it all, but Eli Biko, because deep down, he wa. What if they stopped calling? What if he? So he kept moving, kept, even when his body felt heavy. Even when Beck, then B, Elias. But there was another truth, one he didn't. Helping people gave him something, worth. Without it, he fell. When no one called, when no one needed him, he fell. So he, not because he had to, but because. And the more he gave, to B, until one, Q, if what would he? He avoided, IL. When the two used broken things stayed broken longer because P heavy tasks waited because PO. Responsibility slowly shifted away for and aunt, and but something, not anger. Not reason, some fatigue, a heaviness that stayed. Even for the first time helping. It felt, B. It was Beck, they forg. Then one Elias. He didn't answer the door. Because his body was burning with fever. His start, for the fee cool, the nay. At first people visited. Tart, they as, but days, P, and TH, then TH, and life can't, with Eli W. A word just B. A broken cart stayed on the road, for a while. Then one day, its owner fixed it himself. A leaking roof remained open. Until a farmer climbed up and repaired it alone. Two men, who always waited for Elias, finally lifted the heavy stones together. Slowly. The town adapted. Not perfectly. Not easily. But it adapted. And Elias watched everything from his small window. At first he felt something sharp, disappointment. For years he believed they needed him. But now he saw something else. They didn't need him. They needed the chance to try without him. And that realization cut deeper than any illness. Elias didn't feel replaced. He felt exposed, because the truth was becoming clear. He wasn't the only one capable. He was just the only one who never stepped back. And because of that, no one else ever stepped forward. He thought he was helping them, but in reality, he had been doing something else entirely. He had been removing every obstacle before anyone else could face it. He had been solving every problem before anyone else could learn. And slowly, he had trained them to depend on him, without even realizing it. Not because they were weak, but because he never gave them a reason to become strong. Weeks later, Elias recovered. He walked slowly along the road, feeling like a stranger in his own life. There he met an old traveler. They spoke briefly. Then the man placed a small stone in the middle of the path. "Walk," he said. Elias stepped aside and passed it easily. The man nodded. Now imagine, it was always there. Elias paused. People would walk around it. The traveler smiled. Then he moved the stone away. And if someone removes it every time Elias didn't answer, because he already knew. They never learn, the old man said softly. And they never have to. Elias looked down at the empty road, and suddenly, everything made sense. He wasn't just helping people. He was shaping their behavior, teaching them without words that someone else would always handle things. And even worse, he had been shaping himself too. He thought he was being valued, but the truth was harsher. He had made his value conditional. Conditional on being useful. Conditional on always saying yes. Conditional on never stepping back. And when something becomes constant, it becomes invisible. Elias didn't lose his value. He erased it by giving it away without limit. That day Elias made a choice. Not a loud one, not a dramatic one, a quiet decision. The next time someone asked for help, he paused. For the first time in years, he didn't answer immediately. He thought. Then sometimes, he said yes. And sometimes, he didn't. People were surprised, confused, even uncomfortable. But something new began to happen. They asked differently, more carefully, with awareness, with respect. Because now, his presence was no longer guaranteed, and suddenly, it had value again. The town didn't fall apart. It didn't collapse without him. It became stronger. People fixed their own problems. They helped each other. And when they asked Elias for help, they meant it. Because now, it was a choice, not an assumption. And Elias felt something he hadn't felt in years, light. Not because he stopped caring, but because he stopped carrying what didn't belong to him. He was still kind, still helpful, but no longer available to everything, all the time. And that changed everything. Many people live like Elias once did. Always available. Always ready. Always saying yes. It feels generous. It feels right. But constant presence can quietly erase your value. Because people don't measure what is always there. They measure what can be lost. And sometimes, the greatest respect you can gain comes from a single word, no. Not out of anger, not out of selfishness, but out of understanding that your time, your energy, your presence are not endless and should never be treated like they are. So ask yourself this. Where in your life are you always removing the stone? Where are you stepping in before anyone else has a chance to grow? Where have you confused being needed with being valued? Because they are not the same. One creates dependence, the other creates respect. And sometimes, the moment you step back is the moment everything changes. Not because you stopped caring, but because you finally allowed others to care for themselves. And in that space, you don't disappear. You become visible again.